Shlita, we're just continuing with the halachot of Pesach. First of all, we have to just understand the concept of tefillot of Yom Tov. Somebody that's going to pray the tefillot of Yom Tov, he has to say, obviously, Ya'alev Yavo. Then he's going to say, Biyom Chag Matzot Hazeh, Biyom Tov Mikra Kodesh Zeh. If he comes to Modim and he has a doubt, if afterwards he actually said, right, the entire concept, he actually continued or not, so therefore, what happens is that maybe he just continued Machzir Shechinato L'Tzion just like he did on Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed, and he didn't do a Taveh Chartanu, so therefore he has to go back to V'Asienu. Now, we do know that the entire concept of the night, or during the day also, of Ya'alev Yavo, is as follows. If right now a person came and he said, before Hamachazir Shechinato L'Tzion, he realized he forgot Ya'alev Yavo, he would say, Lamedeni Chukecha, right? And then again he says, Ya'alev Yavo. However, though, if he already finished and he said, Hamachazir Shechinato L'Tzion, which means he's already by Modim, and he realized that he missed Ya'alev Yavo, so therefore the halacha is that he would say Ya'alev Yavo right then and there, between the beracha and the beracha, and then afterwards he would continue with Modim. If he already started the word Modim, so there, even if he just said the word Modim, he has to go back to Retzeh, and then he says onwards from Ya'alev Yavo. Now, obviously, this is only talking about Chol HaMoed or things like that, because the Ya'alev Yavo on the Chol HaMoed is going to be just like what we do on Rosh Chodesh. However, during the Yom Tov, it's in the Atah B'Chartanu, it's already throughout the entire parts of the Tefila. So that's very, very important. Another important halakha to realize is the difference between nighttime of Rosh Chodesh and nighttime of Chagim. Remember that when you forget Ya'alev Yavo, you have to repeat. Doesn't matter which day of Yom Tov you are, but also in the nights of Yom Tov. People have a misconception and they think that if on the night of Yom Tov you forgot to say Ya'alev Yavo, just like on Rosh Chodesh in the night time you forgot to say Ya'alev Yavo, you don't have to repeat. So too on the night of Rosh Chodesh you don't have to repeat. So too on the night of Yom Tov you don't have to repeat. It's a mistake. The reason why is because it's not because that Tfilat Avrit is Reshut and so on and so forth that you don't have to repeat. Which means that you do not do Kiddush HaChodesh in the night times, they're only done during the day times. And therefore, if a person forgot Ya'alev Yavo during the night time of Rosh Chodesh, he does not go back. However, though on Yom Tov, it's nothing to do with him. There's nothing to do with that. If a person forgets Ya'alev Yavo in the night time, there's no difference between nighttime and daytime. He would have to repeat Amidah, and he would have to go through all the process that we mentioned, because again, also in the night of Yom Tov, you would have to repeat if you do not do the proper order of what we just mentioned, of saying Ya'alev Yavo. Just to remember also, Bezrat Hashem, tonight we are going to have Mincha at 7:25. Remember that it's at 8:19 is going to be, I think it's at 8:19 is written that you have to do whenever is the nighttime, what's written down is going to be that you're not allowed to come and you're not allowed to, that's when you're going to start the Bedikat Hametz. Bedikat Hametz is starting at nightfall, so whatever time the 3 stars is nightfall, that's when you start Bedikat Hametz. Half an hour before that, you're not allowed to do Melacha. So therefore, usually comes out of the time of Mincha time. So therefore, during the time of Mincha, that's when we're already not allowed to start doing Melacha. So we have to do Mincha and Arvit, and immediately you go and you start doing the Bedikat Hametz. We already spoke about the different halachot of Bedikat Hametz, but just as a quick reminder, remember to put the 10 pieces of bread, you put them in a paper towel that you actually have it well sealed. Make sure that whoever's hiding it writes down where they hid it. In order, if you can't find it, you know exactly where to look for it afterwards. Make sure that each piece is less than a kazait, just in case you can't find it. You don't have a kazait of bread, which is 28 grams of bread, still lingering around in your house. And then afterwards, right, remember you make the beracha without talking. You start the bedikat. Throughout the bedikat, you're only allowed to talk about things which are pertinent to the bedikat in itself. And then afterwards, you put the 10 pieces away in order to burn them the next morning. The reason why I said paper towels was if you put it in niyar kesef and aluminum, then what happens afterwards when you throw it inside the fire, many times it won't burn. So you have to be careful about that. But then afterwards, what you do is you're going to say the Kal Chamila tonight 3 times. Remember that you have to understand what you are saying. And the third time after, remember when you're saying it in your own language that you understand, the third time you actually just add on that it should also be Efker. So you're going also like the Shita Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, you're doing all the Shitot together. Tomorrow morning, remember that for the Bechors, the people that are the firstborns, right, we have to actually start fasting already by Alot HaShachar. So we start fasting by Alot HaShachar, and only after we're going to hear from a Siyum Masechet, then we're able to come and we're able to partake. We have to have a kezait of mizonot in order to be able to exempt of our meal, of our ta'anit. The reason was once you had it kazait, now you actually ate. And you have to actually partake from the mizonot, from the siudav, the bechors. But again, that's only the bechors that have to do that. If you're not a bechor, you do not have to do anything whatsoever. Anyway, you don't need to fast. So that's very, very important just to remember. And then afterwards, obviously tomorrow morning, we'll just remind everyone about the different halachot throughout the entire day, right, that we have.